Electroheads, and welcome back to our first video together.
I know, I can't believe it. And where are we today?
Marbella.
I don't know why we had to travel this far to do a video together, but here we are. The place of luxury venues, nightclubs, beaches,
Cocktails.
cocktails.
We've been invited by Kia to test out the new EV6, Kia's luxury electric car.
I'm really excited to see a little bit more about what this car can do, but I want to look at it from a prospective EV buyer's perspective. So I want to know, is this car going to turn those mums that are currently on the fence to switching?
And I want to know, have Kia managed to reinvent themselves as this luxury brand? I'm really excited about this car. But before we get into it, guys, please make sure you're subscribed to the Electroheads channel if you never want to miss a video from me, Ailish, and all the rest of the team. Let's chat about the design of the new Kia EV6. Check this car out. Now, me and Ailish have had this car for a couple of days now, and it's blown me away. This is kind of a mismatch of all my favourite things about all the electric SUVs that have been out recently. It gives me Mustang Mach-E, but I think it looks a bit more aggressive, and it doesn't hold that silly name that it has to be a Mustang. It's a new design of a car. I think it looks very Jag, DBX. It's got so much design, nice design elements about it, and I absolutely love it. It's got that sleek, stylish feel, but especially in this GT line, it also looks really aggressive, and there's some real attention to detail. You've got the full LED front headlights, which look fantastic. You've also got these wing mirrors, which aren't your standard rounded shape. They're actually squared off, which again, I love.
From launch, the EV6 comes in a choice of 3 specifications: an entry-level Air, GT line, which focuses on the sportier styling and loses some of the plastic, for example on the wheel arches, and the top spec GT line S, which gains some larger 20-inch wheels, which are seen on our model today.
Like a lot of my favourite electric cars, it's got pop-out door handles, which give it that sleek style when it's on the move. And the back of the car, again, I'm absolutely obsessed with. You've got this rear light that kind of jolts outwards, and it almost gives you the effect of a double spoiler. Now, the last time I saw a double spoiler like this, it was actually on the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. And it has got that aggressive feel, but this is an electric car, and you know that because it's so futuristic with this light bar, but it still has that really aggressive sports car feel as well.
You may have noticed about this car, it is big, and what comes with that? Well, there's a lot of storage actually. So here we have in the boot just under 500 litres. It's also got an electric tailgate as well, so you can just pop it open as such. And yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of... Oh, who left all that in there? Amateurs. The really unique feature about this car is the V2L, vehicle to load, which means that you can plug in any kind of home appliance into this car and it will run it. I'm talking fridges, I'm talking like a George Foreman, for example, or even some hair straighteners.
Has science gone too far?
So let's talk about interior layout and design. For a start, I love the layout so much. Just like in the e-Niro, it's got a floating console, and it's super high quality. I mean, that's not moving at all.
I don't know.
And it's got some really nice materials used that are just elevated from the e-Niro. There's also a massive amount of storage space underneath this floating console. Plus, there might be some cheaper used plastics down there, but they're hidden, unlike in the Ford Mach-E, where you had that really obvious, not particularly nice tray.
So first up with the interior, I want to talk about a big focal point here, which is the dual screens. It's not quite the standard of the Honda E and the Aquarium that you can get, but it is really, really intuitive. You've got everything you need. You've got the car data, maps, navigation, media, just, you know, there's nothing fancy or fiddly, just click into it, you know exactly what you need to do. Down here below you have climate control as well, but you can switch from climate control with a tap of the button to media, and so you've actually got knobs and dials to turn up the volume, which is fantastic because nobody wants to be driving the car and trying to do a touch screen and trying to change the volume and everything. It's just, it's not helpful, so love it. Thumbs up for me. All models see a decent specification. For example, the Air gets a rear view camera. heated front seats, and heated steering wheel, and navigation-based cruise control. Upgrading to the GT lines adds things like a wireless phone charging pad, dual LED headlights with adaptive driving beam, and driver and front passenger premium relaxation seats.
Upgrading to the top spec GT Line S will gain you a sunroof with tilting and sliding function, Meridian premium sound system, augmented reality head-up display, and you can even move the car for short distances using the key, a function that's called Remote Smart Park Assist.
Another thing that we have noticed whilst being in this car, despite the huge cup holders and the wireless charging for your mobile phone down here, which is, I feel that is a given for any electric car now these days.
Well, it's perfect because if you forget a cable, I mean, we've found that there is so much charging opportunity here, but there's only one USB. And if someone's plugged into the USB, or if you've forgotten your charging cable, it is good to always have the wireless charging as a backup.
Even bottom spec Air gets full vegan leather upholstery. In fact, there's been a lot of thought that's gone into using recycled and sustainable materials, including recycled plastics on the floor mats and seat coverings, meaning one model contains the equivalent of 107 500ml bottles.
Space in the back is really good. I've got plenty of headroom, could be a touch more, but most people aren't going to worry. I've also got loads of leg space. Even with this leggy one in the front, I've still got tons of knee room. I really don't think anyone with long legs is going to have any problem back here. Plus, they're also reclining, which is a huge plus.
But that is not all. There is also a frunk, and as you can see here, there's a pretty fair amount of storage that you get. It does come a little bit smaller when you've got the all-wheel drive, but this is perfect, say, if you've got valuables, just put things in, put it out the way when you've parked up. Now, there is a lot of space with this car, but I think the Enyaq might just beat it. And if you want to check out a video that Tish did on it recently, make sure to click the link above.
So Ailish, as we both know, I've well chickened out of driving around on these Spanish roads, but how are you finding the car?
It's great. I really feel like I'm Parker and you're Miss Penny. But I'm really enjoying driving this car, obviously, despite trying to maneuver around these Spanish roads. I have tested out the Eco, the normal and the Sport, and you really feel a difference between the three. The Sport really bites.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, you know, this rear-wheel drive, 229 horsepower, you know, it's not a huge amount, but I don't know what it is. It just, like, you feel it kick in, like, what?
When we're not in Sport at all.
But we're not even in Sport, so actually I should do that when we're in Sport next.
So for the first time ever, Kia have actually fitted one of their electric cars with a four-wheel drive system. So you can get the EV6 in a four-wheel drive, which gives you 331 brake horsepower, which is pretty beastie to be fair.
All cars are fitted with a 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery, but come in the option of rear-wheel or all-wheel drive. The Air is only available in the rear-wheel drive option and gets one motor producing 226 brake horsepower and an impressive range of 328 miles. The GT line can be upgraded to all-wheel drive, with an additional motor adding 95 brake horsepower, hiking the power to 321, but it does drop the range slightly to 314 miles.
There is a high-powered GT version due next year. Range will take a bit of a hit, but it's going to get a whopping 576 brake horsepower and will sprint from 0 to 62 in just 3.5 seconds. You're right, Tish.
I think this is my favourite thing.
You look very relaxed.
It's amazing. That is brilliant for charging though.
That is.
Like when, there is actually multiple times, like the time I had a meltdown when I couldn't find a charger. I'm actually laughing at myself, I'm crying. If I could have had a nap whilst it charged, I would have been loving life.
Oh, I know that there's very fast charging capabilities with this car. It's like ultra fast 800 volts.
Yeah, so it takes up to 350 kilowatts.
Yeah.
The main issue with the other Kia electric cars is the fact that they were way behind in their charging and they'd only take a 100 kilowatt charge. The fact that this takes 350 is massive. The BMW iX3 and the Audi e-tron Q4 that I had the other day, they charge at 150 kilowatts, and this is 350.
Thing is, where are you going to find a 350 watt charger though?
It's me that's the lucky one with GridServe.
Oh, of course.
Because I know that I've got 10 chargers, but that's what we need more of.
Yeah.
If you could go into a service station, and so this will get a 0 to 80% charge on a 350 kilowatt charger in 18 minutes. That's nothing. So there's a very good reason why Kia is so popular with customers for electric cars, and that is because not only do they offer incredible range, but they actually stick to that predicted range. Take for example the Kia e-Niro or the Kia EV Soul. Both of those cars have been able to achieve and sometimes go beyond their predicted range.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to find out, you know, after like further testing with the EV6 to see if the range claims really do stand up to what they're saying at the moment. It would be interesting to see.
Because this has got to be a heavier car, right?
It has to be, it has to be. I mean, this can tow, what, 1,600 kilograms? It's got some weight and it's got some power to it.
It's a shame to discover that unlike the Kia EV Soul, the EV6 will only get a heat pump thrown in with the top spec model, which though some people argue is not essential, it will affect range in the UK where we're certainly not blessed with the climate.
So something I've absolutely loved observing you, I don't know if you're finding
my
it
fantastic
as well.
driving.
Fantastic driving, but I love the safety systems in this car, and I feel like they have hit a sweet spot with them because, I mean, you are a very good driver.
Thank you,
but we've not had too much aggressive bleeping, no jolting. It's just you've had those nice little prompts on your screen that I've seen, your little like kind of the red kind of things to come up, and when you indicate it gives you your blind spot kind of videoing, but it's not been too invasive.
It's not been invasive at all. I've been in some electric cars that scream at you, like when you haven't even done anything, when you just slightly come out of lane, it's just like whoa, get back in there. No, it's not quite like that in the EV6. And like you said, yeah, like it's really nice. This car gives you so much warning as a car is coming up behind you when we're on the sort of the highways, the Spanish highways where people are sort of driving fast and furious. You know about it. The car tells you before you even see them actually. So it's really safe.
That's just as well because rear visibility in this car is not great. For a family car, that rear window is tiny.
It's tinsy.
Really small, but I do think they do get away with it for the tech because ideally I know it would be nice to see out the rear. Oh, we've had a bleep.
We've had a bleep. There we go. Guys, I'm driving safe, don't worry.
I don't believe you.
Helping extend the driving range is Kia's smart regenerative braking system, operated via nifty paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. You can choose from 6 regen modes to recuperate kinetic energy from braking and drip charge the batteries.
All models have automatic emergency braking that can recognise pedestrians and cyclists as well as cars, along with lane keeping assistant and a system that monitors attentiveness of the driver.
If you avoid entry-level air trim, you'll also get blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, while further safety aids, including parking collision avoidance, are found on range-topping GT Line S models. How much does the GT Line cost again? Where does it start from?
Well, the EV6 in general starts from just over £40,000. However, this GT Line spec car that we have is more around £43,000.
Okay, so when you kind of think about that bigger picture and the cost, so £43,000, that's quite a premium price, isn't it?
It is,
but
yeah.
When you think about it in the sort of the grander scheme of the EV market, you know, when you look at the Tesla Model 3, that's got a starting price of about £40,000. And as we all know, it's one of the best-selling cars in the world currently. I think it's currently the second best-selling car in Europe, just behind the VW Golf. So it just goes to show that although that is premium, there is a market there for it, and people do want to spend this money on an electric car, and I get it. The Model 3 has been fantastic because of all the tech that's involved, but there's a lot of tech going on in here as well, isn't there?
There is a lot of tech.
Yeah.
This is much more of a car as well. I mean, there is no doubting the fact that this drives a lot better, more engaging than a Model 3 Tesla. But I guess the one negative as to why people still continue to buy the Model 3 is that charging network. But once that charging network starts to catch up, I think you're going to see cars like this become much more appealing. I'm absolutely obsessed with the Kia EV6. I think that Kia might have achieved what DS set out to do in reinventing themselves as a luxury brand. I think this is going to be a big seller.
Very interesting. Well, like I said before, I wanted to look at this from the perspective of mums potentially on the fence of switching. Is this going to be the car? Well, there is a diverse and ever-growing market for the premium electric cars. You've got the iX4, you've got the classic Tesla Model 3, you've got the Ioniq 5, Polestar 2, just to name a few. What the EV6 does offer is it's got incredible safety features, it's got a ton of room, and also it's got that 7-year warranty that no other car manufacturer can offer. But also it has the driving capabilities that are quite similar to an ICE. So for a lot of people that want to make that switch, having that familiarity is probably going to be a really big pull as well. One thing I would say though, I know that you said they've done really well with reinventing themselves. I think the design, they could have done more.
See, that's where we differ. Eilish loves her electric cars to look like the future. I kind of want them to look like a standard car. I like that it has stuck with some of those classic styling, but it also does have them daring looks as well. So for me, it's spot on, but for you, it could perhaps be a little bit more. But please guys, let us know, what do you think of the Kia EV6? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you have enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a massive thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me, Eilish, and all of the team at Electroheads, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much.
See you later.
Let's have a cocktail.